it's useful to have a proper response. But we'll get there in the end, and we'll try and tweak it so we get the best possible.
I think it'd be a good idea to trial the 2 emails a week. I have difficulty because of the volume of emails that we are actually getting from you, and not being able to keep on top of them, and mine automatically go into a junk box, and because I've got 1,001 going in there, sometimes you're asking me have I received this, and I've got no idea what I'm even looking for, and I have to go back through and I haven't seen it because it was binned off. So I think that I would expect an email on a Monday and on a Friday that had everything sort of zipped together, and that would be more beneficial, because at least then you're only looking for one rather than looking for 10.
Yeah. I think the only exception to that would be the minutes and the agenda, which probably need to be separate documents. But apart from that,
with technology today, I mean, you have a system called SharePoint, which is you can set up where it's just accessible by this team, which you just go into a Microsoft account, sign in, and that's where you can sort of and you can it will even check that an individual has read that document or opened that document. I mean, it's something for the future to look at.
Yeah, something for the future. Just don't make it too technical for me. I'm fairly simple. I'm fairly simple.
We aren't a PLC.
I'm a fairly simple person, when it comes down to it. Yeah. No, we'll try and get what we can to
improve the listing.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Nigel. Thanks.
Right.
The read request button sounds.
Yeah, we'll try that.
Yeah. Okay. Finance and payments.
Just one thing on the correspondence there. You've got the chest tube letter from George, which is self-explanatory. George has explained to us that that's now to an end, so we don't need to go any further into that.
Thank you.
The two lots of payments, really, normally, just to explain to particularly Nigel and Warwick, perhaps something that needs before. Basically, a statutory payments list are the 4 items that we make a payment of every single month. They don't vary very much, and they comprise of clerk's salary, remuneration for the month, the tax and NI contributions for the HMRC, the Jason Mayo's contract, and also the GB Sports standard contract. They are set in April of each year, and we describe those as statutory payments, so we don't go through the detail of them, we just simply say, are you happy to approve the statutory payments for this month? Okay. If there's any major change to that, obviously that would then need to be revisited. The variable payments are those that just ad hoc payments coming during the year. In fact, this month is unusually light actually. We only have the one, which is Cayman Company Insurance Premium for 2019-20, £944.21. And this is the second of 3-year agreement we have with them, whereby they held their rates for the 3 years. Cayman Company are an extremely good company for parish councils. All the large town councils use them as their main broker because they do offer very good premiums and very good cover. One of the things that the audit group, monitoring group, might want to have a look at in the future is exactly what is the cover. It's quite comprehensive, but we may need to have a look at it as a group to make sure that it covers everything that is required of the council. But so there's no real problem with this year. Next year will be the last of the 3 years, and then we should need to perhaps review our insurance premiums. So what we need from you really now, I need from you is a resolution to approve both the statutory payments and the variable payments for the month of June.
You proposing that, Andrew?
Yeah.
Second, Warwick?
Yeah.
All those in favour? Thank you. Well done. Okay, matters for consideration. 9A, to consider our press media policy for the parish council. Owen did circulate the existing policy, and I've read it through, and I think it would be very beneficial if we all read it through between now and the next meeting, and we were to put all our thoughts together, because it's quite it's too probably complicated or long-winded to go through now, but I think if everybody took it upon themselves to read it and highlight areas where they think could be improved, then I think that would be a good starting point for next time. I've made some notes already myself on it, and I think everybody else should also have a go at it, if possible, please. And then we can come up with any revisions or betterments that we may wish. I note that you see that on the very last item, social media is currently not used as a communication method, and any future decision on this additional source of information will require clarity and guidance. So we need obviously to consider that as well. So David, I suppose you'll have a big input on this one, so it would be good to hear from you on this.
Well, can I make an offer and a suggestion, Colin, if I might?
Yes.
Primarily on the basis that it's pretty much what I've done for a career. So instead of, in a sense, everybody having a go at it simultaneously, independently, if you permit me to, if I come back to everybody with my suggestions, then that will provide something for people to sort of chew over and to kick around. But I'll say now that my suggestion will not just be about media policy, it will also be about media strategy and action, because there is potentially more that we can do. I mean, the problem that we and all councils have got, particularly parish councils, is that the people who elect us get very little chance these days to hear, see what we're doing, what we're not doing, how we're doing it, because there just aren't the reporters on local press anymore, and such reporters as there are not attending meetings. So that's part of what I'd like to look at, if I may, in terms of what we can do to improve our communication over and above what the council's already doing in terms of the truncated minutes in the Brent Knoll News and whatever.
Yeah, it is a difficulty, and I think we're all aware of it. I mean, you take Caroline with the position of the shop at the moment. She circulated the entire village, say 500 properties, and then only 31 responded. We put out a circular about using the bus, the Slinky bus. All the houses, 5 responded. So there is a difficulty in terms of making it interesting and worthy of some form of response. But yes, I think that would be very valuable. You're the expert, just as Nigel's the expert. In fact, it would be rather nice, I was mentioning, it would be rather nice to know people's range and level of skills on the council, because we've all got experience in different things, and I think that would be interesting to know going forward. But no, I'm perfectly happy. Everybody happy with that? That David has a go at it? Yeah? Okay, good, well done, thank you. Okay, 9B, Andrea, I think this is with you, to consider meeting dates change for 1920.
Yeah.
Do you want to make a proposal and tell us why you want to propose that?
Because it's a new council and we have new members, I find it increasingly difficult to come on a Wednesday, because if I have to go away with my job, then I either have to come back Wednesday afternoon and then go back to wherever I was Thursday morning. This happened to Warwick, that he's come from Peterborough today and needs to go back to Peterborough in the morning because he's had to attend this meeting. And the same with Nigel, is that Nigel goes out of the country, and although you could stay home maybe on a Monday, it would be impossible for Nigel to fly home on a Wednesday when you were midweek if you were in Asia. So we found, the newbies, and the same with you, David, that we found it difficult, and I wanted to just have a conversation about maybe was there any mileage in changing the day. I know that Owen responded and said that there's no availability for this room on a Monday, so I took it upon myself to actually look at other venues. The Fox and Goose, we can have a private room which alcohol would not be served, and it's not in the licensed area, and we could have that venue on the first Monday of the month at a cost of £45, and then if we wanted the mid-month meeting, she wouldn't charge us for that either. And I do wonder whether, you know, for all of us to have a new venue, we moved from the school and this was sort of going up in the world, and that maybe, you know, we go from here and we go somewhere that we can then maybe have something a bit more social afterwards or before, whereas at the moment we just come together, we've clashed horns, and there doesn't seem to be any kind of any sort of relationship forged as a result of that, and I would like to see that it's a new start. So that would be my suggestion, you know, a new day and a new venue.
How much do we pay for this room?
It's about 27. It depends how long we have it for, because we only actually pay for what we hire it for. So if we have it for a shorter period, I can let Jenny know, so we'll only use it. So it tends to be variable, but it's for the evening session. It's about 20. I think it's about 27. I have to check that out. It's about 27.
Again, the cost of it, when we were over in the school, there was no cost.
All right.
So then we moved here, and we used to give a donation to the school, and then we've moved here, and you know, we've used this room because it was convenient for everybody. And I'm sure that we could go and speak to Gail and sort of say, I know that you put down a ballpark figure of £45, but this is what our proposal is, because everything's up for negotiation, and if she's having a regular income, you know, and it's £30, that's £360 for the year, you know, then it might be something that we could negotiate if it was going to be something that was acceptable.
By the same token, perhaps Mike at the Red Cat, isn't
Yeah,
it?
absolutely.
That's the Skittles room.
Yeah,
So
where
let's
there is
see if
no,
you've got
no, no served alcohol, because I've read on the internet, you know, about the licensed premises,
Well,
and it's so that you're not sat in a pub with a pint in your hand and you're actually discussing council business. You know,
Yeah.
that's what they're saying, that they don't want to happen.
unless there is no other room available at reasonable cost.
Cost, that's right, yeah.
So that would
So
apply.
maybe I'll put on the table then, propose to change it to Monday and go to or maybe explore going to the Fox and Goose if everybody was happy to do that.
Before anyone seconds or objects, I'd just like to put my own personal slant on this. Obviously, new members joining the council, and we don't want to disrupt everything that's happened in the past or the routine that the parish council's in. But personally, I'm here to give 100% of my commitment to the council and the village. And to do that, it would be far easier for me to manage that if it was at the beginning or the end of the week, purely because it's the profession that I'm in requires me to travel globally. It's easier to be here on a Monday or arrange the calendars to be here on a Friday. It's far more difficult to be here on a Wednesday. And I appreciate that it's once a month, but months disappear as quick as days for me. So that's my personal request on the table, and obviously support what Andrew is saying, and just request that you think about this.
Would anybody like to speak against that proposal as to why I don't know, what do other members of the council feel about this?
Well, I don't want to change,
Because
actually. Because we've established here, we've all had to make adjustments. I mean, it's not always easy. We used to have it on Monday, and that was very difficult for me, but I came, obviously. I'm not kind of travelling the world, etc. But if I'm going to be a parish councillor and that was a situation, then I think you have to take that into account before you do it. you know, because we are here as a parish council, and I mean, anyway, I don't want to change, I don't.
Anyone else?
I think that as far as the venue is concerned, we'll talk about dates later, times later, but I think as far as the venue is concerned, I know it's a particularly good idea to go to the sort of the outlines of the outside of the village. The parish hall is more or less in the centre of the village, so
But it's not available on a Monday.
it's not available on Monday, so that is one of the
Hence-
things. One of the
hence
things,
why
of
we
course,
went
we're
to
now
Monday.
talking about one or two members of the council who are working, and therefore if work is going to get in, getting their way, there will be other days of the week when it would not be convenient. End of the week, I think, of course, is the time, Friday is the time when everybody wants to get away, families want to be able to get away for the weekend. The other thing is that parish councils meet on various days, and Bob will be able to tell me that one of the reasons why we changed to accommodate the district councillors who represent us, and they want, and not only that, the county councillors, they want to attend the meetings. So these councils have to be staggered on different days.
So
I don't know
what councillors come to this meeting?
Well, I mean, you know the answer to that one.
He doesn't come.
He doesn't come. He came to the last meeting, but he hasn't shown his face. No, you're quite right, Andrea. I think the meat of the matter is, though, or your proposal, by the sound of it, is: do we change the meeting date? If we change the meeting date, then we look at the venue. So I think your
It was
proposal...
just a suggestion. I didn't want to go and throw the hat in and say, can we change to a Monday, but I don't know where we're going? Or can we change to a Monday and there's nothing, I don't know what the local price is going to be. I just took the first thing and sort of asked, have you got an availability? Yes, I have. How much would you charge? That was my, I've gone nowhere else and I'm not asked anybody else.
Okay. So would you like us therefore to take a vote on to whether we keep the date as it currently is or change it?
Yeah.
I think that's probably where we start, isn't it?
Yeah.
So is that your proposal then, that we...
So, do we do a vote for a Monday and a vote for a Friday?
Well, I think we just vote whether we're going to change the date.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's we start there.
Yeah, that's fair.
So the proposal from Andrea then is that we change the date or day of our meeting. And is that seconded by you,
Yes.
Nigel? Okay. Any amendments to that proposal at all? We've had fors and against, so all those in favour of changing the date, will you show your hands, please? That's 4. All those against changing the date, show your hands, please. So we've got 6 to 4. So the date stays as it is. Moving on, 9C, village planters to review current actions. What's happened there, John?
No, I sent out a little email yesterday. We set a standard in this village, and we got some decent village entrance signs, and we've enhanced that by putting in 3 planters on each one of the 3 entrances. They're being supported by Blue Diamond Sanders. They're producing all the flowers, and we have the lady gardeners of Brent Knoll who actually look after the beds, for which they get a small honorarium. But I spoke to Blue Diamond the other day, and they're happy to support the plants during the year for the 3 beds. And now they're all in place. The 2 new beds have just been put in, and they will be planted next. Those 2 new ones will be planted next week.
Okay, what are your costs? Any costs to
No.
date? Nil.
No,
Not even for the wood?
I made an arrangement for all the things we needed
Okay.
from Sanders.
Thank you.
They dealt with it.
Okay. Yes.
The last time we went up to, or the lay gardeners went up to Blue Diamond, I believe there was a problem with
I've
that.
dealt with it. It's all organised.
Right.
What was the problem, sir?
Oh, there was a problem because people didn't quite understand what was going on. I knew it was horrific. I went to see Karen, the manager, and I said, is there any problem with this? No, she said. In that case, the lady guards go and talk to the manager direct. And Amanda has been told by me that if any problem, she comes to me and I'll deal with it. No problem.
It's when you go in and ask for free plants, Nigel, and they say, what?
It's been around. There was a little bit of it, but
Anyway.
the manager's happy.
Yeah, we send our Rottweiler in.
John.
Okay, in the nicest sense. There's a request for War Memorial, request for a cleaning contribution of £250. Can anyone?
Would you like to give me a bit of background? Because I'm a member of the Legion. In the last 10, 12 years, the War Memorial in the churchyard has been cleaned on 2 occasions, something like £500 or £600. I can't quite remember the figure. And actually, in the past, the last 2 times we've needed to be cleaned, the parish council have paid for that cleaning. The Legion has said that they are prepared to raise some money towards the cleaning and have asked for a contribution of £250 from the council. It does need cleaning. Unfortunately, the War Memorial is surrounded by trees and inevitably you get drip and lichen or lichen or whatever you call it forming on the stone. So it needs to be cleaned off and it's got to be done professionally.
So can I have does anyone else want to make any comment about it?
Isn't lichen protected?
No idea. No idea. Well, let's put it like this. It's been cleaned in the past couple of years anyway, so yeah. Can I have a proposal for that?
Well, I'll propose it.
And a seconder, please? Bob? All those in favour? Thank you. Okay. Right. Rerouting of the footpath.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like
Yes.
to declare a personal interest in that.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Malcolm. I think Owen has circulated some details on this, has he?
Yeah, I think Richard Mills Ross sent a narrative
Yes.
of what the issues were, and basically he's got approval from Somerset County Council to actually do the change, and he's also got approval from most of the surrounding residents, I think pretty all of them actually, to change the rights of way. So, you know, I don't know how much. Basically, have you seen this?
Seen this? Yeah. There are two sort of pinch points, for want of a better word. Somerset have agreed to supply at no charge kissing gates, galvanised kissing gates that will go there and there. That's right, to give an exit and entrance to the field. And I think Richard would like some financial support from the parish council on the costs of installation of these 2 kissing gates. What I would suggest is that I write to the Nuttall Trust to see if we can use their money towards these gates, because we haven't got the money for it, so we may as well use it for that, and it's something useful and benefits everybody.
That's £300, isn't it?
Yeah. So, yes, Bob.
Chairman, I'm happy to support that. I mean, if Nuttall weren't happy though, I mean, this is something we've done on a number of other footpaths because we've tried to support landowners. They have the inconvenience, obviously, of the footpaths across their land. We've managed to get the county to do a number of kissing gates and stiles for us in the past where they supply the kit and we've done the installation. So I mean, there's nothing unusual about if we were to do this anyway, even if we didn't get the money from Nuttall Trust. It's something that we've done on a lot of other paths anyway.
So subject to my getting, if I will try to get agreement to use this money from Nuttall Trust first. If not, can I couple that with the proposal then that we undertake it anyway from our own funds? So there are two parts to the proposal. One, we use Nuttall Trust. If I can't get Nuttall Trust, we use our own funds. That's my proposal from me, if that's all right. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Yeah, David? All those in favour? Thank you, that's great.
Who do we normally use to do an installation of that kind if we don't so many in house?
Well, we'll have to get hold of Chris East's guys, I think, from Somerset, who work for Somerset County Council, and get them to come on. And I can do that when I see them about the path around the back of the church.
Understood.
So hopefully we can do 2 jobs in one go. Is that okay? Now, we've Owen gave us in your pack a list of, if you like, carried forward items from the last council session. And there's quite a lot of items there, and I wondered whether you'd like to select those that you feel are the most important ones that we take forward. As if we try to hit all these, we're not going to do any of them.
Some that we cover actually.
Yeah. So if we take out War Memorial cleaning, Chest Tomb, which of these, for instance, we've got CPR training and a SID replacement. Well, SID replacement is a priority, I would have thought. So is everybody happy that we take that forward? The SID.
We've already agreed to it.
Yeah, sorry, thank you. Okay, so we take forward that. CPR training?
Well, I suggested this, and I don't know whether you want to continue it. We've been around houses on defibrillators. The first stage to do something for first aid would be to have CPR training. I actually inquired of St John's and the Red Cross. They will produce training sessions which we could hold in the village hall. Warwick has got the details, but I personally think it's a good idea if there is enough support from the village. So really, if we're going to do it, we ought to advertise the possibility in the Brent Knoll News and see what the response is. And then we could perhaps do it.
I've got a feeling you may be
CPR training for any village?
Yeah, we have run a CPR course.
Okay.
But I was thinking about this today. The problem with running a CPR course is that you can do the course and then 6 months later you can forget your training to a certain extent. And we ran it here and some people really enjoyed it. The converse to that though is we plough on with a defibrillator which we've thrown around forever here, and we could put it in the telephone box, but I don't think it's to everyone's agreement, but there is that. So
is the one in the East Brent Health Centre the only one in the village?
yes, and there's one at Rooksbridge. East Brent have 2.
Yeah.
One at the doctor centre.
Our only one is in.
Yeah, your nearest one is East Brent.
Understood.
Yeah, we did. I'll give you some history because we did make a decision once to actually get a defibrillator, and then it was rescinded at a later meeting, which was a disappointment to me, but the ideal place is to situate it in that telephone box if we're going to, for the benefit of the village. It's smack in the middle of the village, more or less, but you know, it's easily maintained and it's very easily operated, and it is well, I think it's a good idea, but my fellow councillors didn't. So
Well, I think it's a very good idea.
yeah, but you know, but I think it's something we need to put to bed once and for all, as with CPR training, whether we do. So I'd suggest we take those two forward for further
The
discussion.
defibrillator may, of course, come into the same category as a telephone kiosk, because the telephone kiosk at the moment is not really being managed
No.
as we originally planned.
Mm.
So if the kiosk is probably not going to be used perhaps quite as effectively as we thought, then that in a sense opens the door to, if the council decided to go for a defibrillator, I guess. I don't know. So I think they're probably one of the same really, aren't they?
No, I mean for me the CPR training is that's preservation of life.
As is the defibrillator.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
more so the CPR, I'm sorry, that's the first thing.
Yeah,
And for everyone to be aware of how to try and preserve life in the critical times it takes for emergency services to arrive. For me, that's-
yeah. I mean, you can put the argument, oh, you've got a problem down there, and there's two of you,
Thanks, John.
Yeah.
so you've got to make a phone call. Will you go and get the defibrillator? I don't know how it would all work, and I don't know whether East Brent has been used and whether they've got any experience of it, but it's just something we need to discuss. Yeah. But CPR training could well be useful. All right, so will we carry those forward? Telephone, CPR, and defibrillator, and the SID.
Yeah. The one that I know Brian's particularly conscious about is the improvements to the surroundings.
Yeah.
I think he feels as though we could make some sort of general improvements around the village. So that was one that he raised, certainly. Bus routes have been on there for quite some time. We're in the hands of other people, I guess, on bus routes to some extent.
There was talk at the last meeting of getting together with East Brent over the potential for a bus route to be swung past
check
Brent.
that out with Jim Murray again on that, actually. Jim and I did have a discussion about it. Nothing really came. Did it come up at East Brent's meeting?
Well, they were writing to
Yeah. Okay.
Somerset Bus.
Well, I'll check that out with Jim Murray again, because I think that's probably one that needs some clarity. Speed restrictions, Brent Street near the school. I'm not sure.
We've tried that in the past, haven't
Green maintenance issues during the village green.
Before you leave the speed restrictions, we're one of the few villages that doesn't have a sort of strongly marked 20 mile an hour zone.
we? We have asked for that.
We don't have.
And I've forgotten the response we got.
I think Highways said that they weren't able to change the speed limits on Brent Street at the moment. There was some reason for it, wasn't there?
We did
Was
also
there a
raise
reason?
it at the school. I'm not sure they were.
Was Denley School there?
University
No,
School
yeah,
at the
it
time.
was.
Yeah.
Because it's quite hard to get speed limits changed, isn't it? It's not an easy thing. There's got to be a lot of evidence.
I mean, it can be done. I think one of the arguments also that was made was obviously the 20 mile an hour limit in that area would be enforceable potentially during the school pick up and drop off. And I think the comment that came back from the school was that no one could do 20 miles an hour through there at pick up and drop off anyway because it's so congested. But it's certainly something we could look at. But I seem to remember last time I don't think the school was 100%
So
supportive.
that pick up and drop off and the speaking to that, I've thought about, well every year again.
Yeah.
It was,
Well, we can
never
look
gel.
at it again
We
later
can
on.
look at
That
that,
will make it
yeah.
hard for us. Green maintenance issues.
We're
during
gonna
the
do
village
that,
green,
yeah.
Okay.
And GB, we're going to do that with Green.
And that gym equipment. Was that one
That's
that?
Brian. That's a
Brian.
I would park that one all the time.
Dog bin provision. This has been, there's certainly one resident who comes to most of our parish surgeries and raises it almost on every occasion.
Is it that one that they put away?
Well, it was to do with the one that was taken away off the
It
school.
wasn't really a dog.
It wasn't a dog bin, it was a rubbish bin that was being used as a dog bin. So I did say to this particular resident that we would, the council I'm sure would want to have a look at where all our dog bins are provided and our rubbish bins around the village and just have a general survey of whether they're all in the right places or not. So that's something I guess we need perhaps to visit at some stage, whether it's a high priority or not, I don't know, it's absolutely entirely up to you. But it's certainly something I think we need to look at some point.
And Chairman, just on that same note, we actually spoke with Jason Mayer when he was doing the green earlier, and he commented that he's got a lot of problem with the dog mess along opposite the Methodist Church on that area of verge, which is within a matter of feet of the green that we've got there.
Oh, yeah, when I walk my dog, yeah.
And they put they put it in the bag.
Yeah.
They put it in
Yeah,
the bin.
I know.
Hang the bag on the fence.
And the other one is the painting to the rear and side fencing on the green, which we parked.
We
that for a
parked
while.
that one, we didn't do
Yeah,
anything.
We didn't do
Yeah.
anything. That's
Because of the ivy.
Yeah.
Touching it, painting can go in. Okay, so we've got some things that we can bring forward now as work in progress.
And obviously, if at any stage you want something raised on the agenda, if you let me know at least 10 days before, it's helpful. If there's something you feel that needs to go on the agenda, because what I tend to do is I build a draft up based on the information that I know I've got. Talk to Colin about it. If there's anything else you want, you're perfectly entitled to say to me, can we add something to the agenda? There's no problem with that. Providing it doesn't make the agenda too large, because trying to keep the agenda under control, really.
Chairman, just going down the list, we seem to have ticked
Everyone.
almost all of them. One that we didn't tick, as far as I'm aware, is the speed watch, and I thought we had someone today volunteering to join that, so is that one that...
Yeah, but we've got to refer her to the...
This Charles got his name down, Scully, Mark Scully, is it?
Yeah.
Scholar.
Yeah, so we'll include speed watch as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'll send her an email.
So actually, the ones we've removed are the War Memorial,
Which is done.
the chest, tomb, bus routes we're putting on ice, speed restrictions, I think we'll keep a watching brief. We're keeping green maintenance, GB sports, parking adult equipment, parking dog bin provision, parking general rubbish collection bins, but we're taking getting rid of painting to rear and side fencing on green, but we're touching up on painting play equipment. So
Could you add to the play equipment the fact that the picnic bench has been just...
okay.
That's all in the Sound Anti-Solo agreement, isn't it?
It's always Sandy.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay, matters of report for the next meeting. Any matters, John?
Yeah, I've got one thing. I looked at the burnlc.com the other day, and David could be able to help me on this. Travellers, David, Rooks Bridge.
Yeah.
And I believe a farmer up there, it was on burnlc.com, but they've got 500 travellers up there who are causing a lot of problem. And so, it's lock up your daughters and lock up your sheds, I believe. They have caused, I understand, a degree of problem.
Yeah.
So, do we want to add that?
I don't think you do, just to make ourselves aware of what's going on in the local area.
A bit of update in the sense that, as you say, they're not unauthorised because they have done a deal with a local farmer to use his field.
They can't move.
Yeah, allegedly. And it's supposed to be for a Christian festival of some sort, which is supposed to be happening tonight, and is a 3-day event. They've said that they are leaving on Friday, and the police have been involved. Planning enforcement have been down there, and licensing and keeping an eye as well. But yes, there are a lot of concerns in Roxbridge at the moment, but it's difficult in terms of taking action because they are not unauthorised. They have been involved.
But it is our local area, that's why I brought it up.
Thank you. Cynthia?
No.
No? Okay. Nigel?
No.
Warwick?
No.
No. David?
No.
Okay, not David. Bob? Nothing from me. Thank you very much. Great. See you at our next meeting, 3rd of July. And a note will come out to meet a bit earlier so we can go around the village green, if that's okay, please. Thank you.